Some very good news tonight. I can report that all hope is not lost in New York. Daniel Penny acquitted today in a criminal case that never should have been brought by a DA's office that has repeatedly failed to put the safety of New Yorkers ahead of politics. Now, after Penny used a chokehold to restrain menacing lunatic Jordan Neely on a subway car in May 2023, which led to his death, Alvin Bragg's office charged him with second-degree manslaughter. Now, the defendant with no criminal record, a proud Marine vet who stood up when no one else would, gets charged? Yeah. But on Friday, the jury announced it was deadlocked. So, at the behest of Bragg's office, Judge Maxwell T. Wiley directed them to come back after the weekend to consider the lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide. Outrageous. But the jury rejected that as well. If anyone is guilty of criminal negligence here, it's the folks like Alvin Bragg and his assistant DA, Daphne Yoran, whose virtue signaling and soft-on-crime approach have caused enormous pain and suffering to the everyday New Yorkers whose lives matter too. Bragg, of course, has been humiliated after wasting millions of taxpayer dollars in his crazed criminal prosecution against Donald Trump before, of course, the election night victory. He released a statement today saying he respects the jury's decision, but noted, unfortunately, over the duration of this trial, talented career prosecutors and their family members were besieged with hate and threats on social media, by phone, over email. Simply put, this is unacceptable. Yes, I agree with him. It is completely unacceptable. No one should be threatened. And yet, that's exactly what Jordan Neely did to those subway passengers. By the way, do you know this? All but 2 of the 11 witnesses who testified at trial said Mr. Neely's presence amounted to the scariest experience they'd ever had on a subway. Now, in many ways, this case's outcome does harken back to Bernie Goetz's acquittal in 1985, because that came during another time when people in New York were feeling increasingly fed up with liberal do-gooders helping violent criminals get off. Most regular people then and now just want to return to safety and normalcy. But, of course, the usual racial arsonist reacted to the verdict today. Someone who never rides the subway, by the way, the Reverend Al Sharpton, he put out a statement saying, this verdict represents the blatant legalization of civilian vigilantism, sending a dangerous message that citizens can now take matters into their own hands, even if it leads to someone's death. But what Al doesn't get, is that the people of New York have just had it. Maybe the Rev should just brush off, I guess, the crowds that Trump drew in New York and the Bronx, just ignoring that, Madison Square Garden. But he's brushing that off, but he should have paid more attention. Those people know that the danger to America isn't from Trump. It's not from people like Daniel Penny or overzealous cops. The danger to New Yorkers and the rest of the people in this country come from prosecutors who want to punish law-abiding Americans by making excuses for hardened criminals and also marauding migrants. And more of us see that the Black Lives Matter crowd, well, they are kind of what we said they were back in 2020, frauds.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
And who is he? Well, he sounds like a racist, and he's essentially threatening violence if he doesn't get his way. Nothing's changed from 4 years ago. These BLM radicals don't care about working people in these cities. They burned Minneapolis down, didn't care about that. And they're just trying to cash in on their anti-American hatred.
America has no moral code. America has no soul. Once we saw those non-white jurors, we knew that this case was over.
Then a special Christmas greeting.
These wonderful white people, I hope they celebrate their Christmas while the Neely family is praying and asking God for comfort. God them and God America.
Yeah, you know what she said. She must have been a Jeremiah Wright acolyte. Well, it got ugly at times outside the courthouse, but not inside the pub where Penny's team celebrated.
It feels great, really does.
And so tell me, what's going on right now?
Yeah, we're just, it's 18 months of weight on everybody's shoulders. Most importantly, Danny's, walking around with the weight of this indictment on him, knowing that he's been falsely accused for doing the right thing.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.